Okay, let's look at a quick demonstration of this delta-dotnet sync in action. So essentially, I'm going to have a Kubernetes cluster, which is going to have KEDA operator pre-installed on AKS. And I'm going to have an event hub, 3 topics, essentially. So 3 of these. And what we're going to look at is we're going to be running 0 replicas of the delta-dotnet worker. We're going to fire some events into the Event Hub, and we're going to look at how KEDA spins up these workers into high replicas, and how we do a bulk load into a Delta Lake sync. So let's take a look at that in action. So just to kind of orient with regards to my screen, on the top left here, these are 3 Event Hub topics that I have. On the bottom left here, I have an empty OneLake Azure storage account shortcut. On the right here, I have K9s, which is a CLI tool in Kubernetes. And you can see I've got the KEDA operator, and my 3 workers are currently dormant, and so is my bulk loader. So essentially in KEDA, this is called a custom resource definition, which is how we tell it to scale. And so we've told KEDA that the minimum number of workers is 0 and the maximum number of workers is 2. And currently, if I go into my Kubernetes namespace, you can see there's no pods there because we don't have any backlog of events, right? And the Delta tables, as you can see, it doesn't exist. So what I'm going to do is I've got 3 tabs open with each of these topics, and I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go ahead and send some events per topic, right? So let's go ahead and do that with this yellow taxi data. This is a cool tool that the Event Hub team made to send some data. So let's say we're going to send about 1,000 events. I'll go ahead and do that. Click on send. And essentially what's happening, so those 1,000 events got sent. So just to go to the diagram while this spins up, KEDA is essentially observing that topic that we send data to. And it looks at the checkpoint, which currently doesn't exist. And it basically goes ahead and says, okay, well, there's some new data in this topic that needs to be processed, and that hasn't been checkpointed, which means there's data that we haven't processed. And you can see that it basically spun up a single replica of my .NET Sync, which is essentially this guy, right? So it spun it up, and I do a refresh, and you can see that the work is already done. So that .NET Sync process, it basically sensed that there was a piece of work that needs to be done. It went ahead and created that the Parquet flush, so you can see it's partitioned based on that. And it sent a event to the Delta bulk uploader, which went ahead and did it for, it committed that JSON. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do this across multiple topics. And you can see it's scaled back to 0, which means we're not, paying for computers and stuff. So let me go ahead and do that across 3 regional topics. In this case, that's kind of what we're simulating. So let me just align my screen. This is going to be for 1,000, and it could be any number. I'm just sending 1,000 just to see it working. It could even be like 1 event. You can tell KEDA how many events you want it to watch for. So let me go ahead and do that with 1,000 and 1 more. And we're going to repeat fire those 3 together to see all 3 workers spin up in action. So 1, 2, and 3. So what we're going to see in the bottom right of my screen is 3 different worker pods are going to come up for each of those topics. So you can see all 3 came up because the KEDA operator, which is this guy right here, it went ahead and basically sensed that diff between the topic and what's checkpointed. Done. You can see each of those workers wrote the Delta transaction, and then my bulk loader, it sensed in its Event Hub that there's work that needs to be done. It did that work, and now if I do a refresh, you will see all 3 Delta tables. So these are new. North Central, you can see there's 1 Delta transaction entry. Brazil South, there is 1 transaction entry, and the one that we had previously, when we did the original, which is Australia, it should have 2 Parquet files, each containing those 1,000 events, and it's got your 2 Delta transaction logs. That's it, and the replicas are now at 0. Thank you.